have I explained my hot rocks to you? You know, you start off with a rough prototype and then you keep on building something that's a little bit better and better. First, the problem is, especially with the coronavirus, a lot more people are focused on delivery. Now with delivery, you have a different set of challenges. Getting their people food quickly, number one, and hot, number two. So the hot is the part that this kind of fixes and alleviates the struggle. So it's super frustrating sometimes, especially when you have to credit somebody for getting cold pizza, which is something we work so hard to avoid. Like, oh my gosh, to get a hot pizza, you need to add heat to your delivery bag. If you have a half sheet cheese pizza, for instance, you pull that out of the oven, you put that in a bag, you have 2 pounds that has to stay 115 to 145 degrees for the amount of time it takes to get to your house. One thing to alleviate that is to add mass. So instead of having 2 pounds in the bag, you have 4, 6, 8, 10 pounds in the bag. Now obviously it's not all going to be pizza, but it will hold that heat in. The product itself is simple. It's minerals in a bag. So it's different aggregates of rock. Some are granite, some are just pea gravel with different types of minerals in them. What's the other one? Soapstone. And they all have different heat capacities, right? So with that said, that's what's on the inside. What's on the outside is what the first iteration is, a silica bag. So the silica fabric itself I got from a company that sells fabric to textile industries that make clothing and gloves for the welding industry. So it can accept a lot of heat. And then as you go down, you notice that that's just a bag. This one has handles on it. Then what I did is I realized the abrasion resistance on this stuff isn't the best. So then we went to this guy. This is a Nomex Kevlar fabric, super abrasion resistant. And then I learned how to sew the thread. What's it called? The yarn? Not the yarn. No, the thread is a Kevlar thread. Now the reason I went with Nomex Kevlar is because it'll survive about 700 degrees Fahrenheit. And then on the inside, again, we have minerals, rocks, that kind of thing. Those survive well over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Why did I do that? Because it's super simple to heat up then. So when a delivery comes in, all you do is you grab one of these, notice handles. The cool thing about little tiny handles like this is I could run this through a 500 degree oven and pick it up like this as soon as it comes out, because these guys are gonna cool down really fast. The minerals inside are gonna heat up to 500 degrees. So all you do is when you put a pizza in, you put your pizza on the left-hand side, you put this guy on the right-hand side. Pizza magazines and stuff like that have all these weird products and stuff you could plug into lighter things. You have USB things. Number one, they're going to drain your battery. Number two, when you have a delivery driver that's taking 4 deliveries, he's not going to plug 4 bags into whatever system you have going on. These 3, I figured like 9 pounds is a good baseline. And what I'll do is I'll run these through and then I'll put them in the bag and I'll put a thermometer in them, and they'll stay at 135 degrees for an hour and 15 minutes. Obviously this isn't a hard, so it's going to floppy and kind of fold over itself. What we do there is we add a half sheet pan to the bottom of the bag. The half sheet pan is obviously going to keep the bottom rigid, not floppy, so that when you pull the food out of the bag, this isn't going to give you a big giant headache. Your box is going to sit on top of this. It's not going to have very much contact. It's a bunch of like little pea gravel just in there. You know, it's washed and whatever. So there's plenty of space for the moisture to dissipate or travel to different sides of the bag, so it doesn't all accumulate right here and make a big wet spot. I tend to be paranoid about things. So my next iteration, I'm probably going to have to make my own type of delivery bag. This is cool, and you could put this into an existing bag, but I'd like to have a bag you could collapse down that would fit into the oven. That would have some insulation on the sidewalls, a little bit of aggregate, and maybe, like I said, a hard surface on the bottom, so when you pick up the bag, it doesn't fold. We'll go from there, and we'll see what happens.